I don't know if you've ever walked down the road looking for a coffee shop, and when you got to the door started struggling with them, trying to figure out whether the door was a push or a pull. I visited a coffee shop in London and I thought, why isn't there a symbol for pushing and pulling doors? The first idea was using a hand for a push, and two versions were created. But a hand in the construction industry is used to mean stop, danger, do not proceed. The next idea was to create three-dimensional graphics with a green arrow and a figure walking through the door. People prefer not to use red and green for signage. These colours aren't easy for people to read if they are colourblind or have other sight problems. The preference for signage is a mix of yellow and black, which works better for low light and, after all, are nature's warning colours seen in bees and wasps. From then on, the colours were changed to yellow and black. When you're already familiar with the three-dimensional pictures, they're understandable. But tested out, the general public were completely confused. One man even put the 3D picture on its side to try and understand it better. So back to the drawing board. The hand on its own was invalid due to the existing hand-based danger sign, and the 3D arrows and doors sign didn't work in practice. The next stage was to consider a two-dimensional side-on character for push and pull. The idea was to have the main part of the body leaning forward for pushing and leaning back for pulling. Desperately clinging onto the previous designs, I tried to incorporate the side-on figure into the arrows and doors artwork. This wasn't going to work because there were too many elements to the symbol. The figure, the arrows, the door and the frame. Generating more ideas, had some photos taken of pushing and pulling doors and printed some of them out. I randomly drew some scrawls on the photo which were curved. I happened to have an appointment with a patent agent and showed him the new direction. When he replied, he said, bowed doors. There was something emphatic about the way he said bowed doors, and that made me think this was going to be important. Simplifying the pictures, I took out the arrows and straight doors and looked to create a yellow figure pushing and pulling. John Svenk was the digital artist working with me, and he created yellow and black alternative versions, 3 of which had the bowed doors. I then went on a tangent and created a push and pull figure with a ski glove. Although these were pretty horrible figures, what emerged was the bowed doors with the black, yellow, black stripes design. The physiology was pushing as if pushing a broken down car, and pulling as if pulling in a tug of war. When John had created the digital versions of the ski glove symbols, I could see the striped doors could be used in the main designs. The yellow figures had a bit of a tummy, which we thought we'd keep as it made the images look more friendly. I rejected the pull sign with a smaller door handle. The left foot on the pull sign was moved up, so that the feet were no longer in a straight line. A thumb was added to the pull hand, and the doors were trimmed down in length. This is the final push sign, and this is the final pull sign.